Right, we're here with Casual Bullshit with the man from Mullingar.
The man from Mullingar, indeed, Liam Hall Walshe. Well, lads, how's the crack?
It's a mouthful.
Mouthful, yeah. We don't get too many mouthfuls now.
Okay, before we get sidetracked,
I know you're
how do we start? How have you found the Kino?
Yeah, so look, I mean, I didn't know really what to expect, you know, these things, they're new sort of, in a way it's kind of avant-garde filmmaking, you know.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, a bit there's trepidation involved in it, you know. But I think it's all about what you're willing to put into it, you know. Like
I think that's true,
like,
yeah,
you know,
I think that's true, yeah.
I think, you know, if you're out there trying to get into stuff, you know, putting yourself forward, you'll find stuff. And you're sitting on the sidelines twiddling your thumbs, you know, feeling sorry for yourself, you're not going to get very far. I think that's kind of like a metaphor for life in general, but for Kino specifically, I think it fits.
Right, and so what did you do with the Kino?
So I suppose I wasn't, as I said, I wasn't going to attend originally. Quite busy with different things, but friend Kevin Flanagan, he said, look, he had this idea, he wants to do it. And I said, look, I'll do it. And that's how I got involved in the Kino. We spent a lot of time on this one film in particular.
And what was that?
It's jeez, I forget the name. It's about
Not that important, was it?
No, it was important. I just thought, honestly, I was in it.
You were in the zone. You were in the zone.
Look,
and what was the film? Was it challenging?
Look, I've been in all sorts of different. I'm theatre trained, so I suppose I'm not fazed with these sort of things, you know.
Yeah,
You know, I've been in very stressful situations, you know, I've fought, you know, done all sorts of things, so I'm not fazed with these.
Yeah, and how did you find the difference between theatre to camera?
That's a really good question. They're completely different. Like, I'm sorry, technique-wise, you know. I would say there's the difference between naturalism and larger-than-life manifesting itself on stage, you know.
Yeah, and do you find you have to calm down the theatre stuff when you're doing the...
No, actually, funnily enough now, when I initially started acting, I felt it was sort of counterintuitive in a way. I was very naturalistic and very natural, very naturalistic.
Yeah.
I found it hard to be quite big on stage.
Yeah.
So I felt that I had to be prompted to get bigger.
Right.
Not like an erection, but you know.
Yeah. No, I do get what you're saying.
It does help though.
Yeah.
It looks bigger on camera, you know.
Of course. Yeah. Well, I remember there's a great interview with the late great Oliver Reed.
Yeah.
And he says each eye is about 6 foot across on the screen, so every movement is so important.
Yeah.
You know. And it's obviously it's contrived, so like, you know, you can really put a lot of investment in your movements.
Well, I seen something where somebody, I think was it someone had De Niro. I think it was De Niro, and they were watching him from the back, right, like courtroom scene or whatever, or was Al Pacino. Or, he didn't really do a lot. He says he walked away and didn't do a lot. He says I thought, why is everybody going on about these guys? And then he says, when I watched it on camera, then I realised.
Yeah.
Now, you were in our 4 Stories film.
I was brilliant, yeah, really enjoyed it, yeah, it was great,
Yeah, he went full throttle.
Yeah. I seen Keith showed me, but obviously I couldn't make it, I say.
Well, look, I mean, I think it's really important, especially things like this, that you find people that you want to work with, because these gigs are very, and no one wants to admit it, but they are very egocentric.
Yes,
and there are battles of egos all the time.
Yeah.
And when you find people you click with, it's like, you know, it's amazing. It's
well, I have to say, I thought you genuinely hated Keith.
Well, do you know what? I suppose there was that sort of subconscious fat bastard in me that was like saw him with the marshmallows and was resentful, I suppose. And I was like, I need them fucking marshmallows, you know?
Yeah, no, it was good, and it was gas, and we I know people are doing a lot of elaborate stuff this weekend, and fair play to them, but we just felt that was what we wanted to do.
I really like the idea, and I think, you know, there's a future in that sort of
Well, I think there will be. We will be, and maybe use some of your characters from Mullingar as inspirations.
Oh, stop. There's so much inspiration from Mullingar, and it's not all illegal.
But some of it is.
Most of it.
Some of it is.
It
The
is.
funny ones.
So what I can ask you, would you be up for doing another Kino?
Well, I think it's all time and place, and it's. I mean, in terms of like concept-wise,
Yeah.
of course, but it's like asking me, what am I going to be eating for breakfast tomorrow?
Yeah,
I don't know.
You're a man of moments.
I'm very much, I go with. I hate that fucking phrase. Go with the flow. It's so naive and stupid, but I'm going with the flow. If I can make it, if I'm available, 100%. And I suppose something that is on my mind is for the next one, I definitely want to come with an idea, because
Yeah.
obviously before I came to this, I was like, I didn't know how it was going to be. Cause
You don't till you get here.
Yeah, I have loads of ideas for films that I want to do, and it's like, geez, I don't know. Like, am I going to come in with this idea? Is it going to be straddled? Is it going to be someone's going to mess with it? And it's like, no, that doesn't happen.
Well, I would suggest if you have an idea,
Yeah,
come with it to next Kino, right?
yeah,
And I guarantee you, when you look at it, you're going to go, I'm not happy about this, not happy about this, but it'll give you at least a proof of concept.
well, exactly.
And that's, you'll go, actually, do you know what, I'd concentrate on more on that. And I think that's the thing. When you look at a script and you read a script, it can be good, but
Yeah.
I don't think you really know if a script works unless it's on camera.
Well, see, the thing is, the problem is with human beings is we try to rationalize and intellectualize everything. Sometimes you just have to let. I see sort of film and scripts as truth manifesting themselves on words.
Like subconscious.
Yeah, it's like a lot of scripts are.
We're dependent.
Well, Jesus, I wouldn't argue on that one. Well, I think scripts are like truths manifesting themselves, individual truths. So a lot of people write what they know,
yeah.
and it's like, you don't know how these things are going to turn out unless you shoot them,
Yeah.
I mean, you could have pitched that audition thing. I could have been like, that's shit, but it turned it was so funny and it was so entertaining.
The big thing was when we pitched it was that people realised, please don't be offended. It's only a source of humour. And I think that was the thing, if you noticed, when the camera stopped, that stopped. There was none of this method or any of this. Yeah, it was like, thanks very much, you were great, that way. And it was amazing the different reactions people came out with. Because if I'm honest with you, the idea was to bring the actor in and put them on the spot. And that would be the humour. But actually, if you watch the thing, it's us being put on the spot half the time.
It was,
And everybody hates Keith in it. I don't know why.
He's an actual punchable face, like.
Yeah, he does. Everybody hates Keith in it. I don't know why. I say the worst things. He says like kind of bad things and just gets.
I think for me, it was whoever had the marshmallows, I was going to hate instantly.
Yeah.
Marshmallows.
Well, we actually got the idea from Wayne, because Wayne is always eating.
I'm always eating, yeah.
So he's always eating. So the minute of that pitch session, we were there, and I knew when we watched that pitch session, by your sense of humour, I said, right, this is the boy we want, that way. But he was sitting there. What did you have? A wrap?
I went to KFC before, and I had a wrap and a big zinger burger. And I was just, and then whenever he clapped, that's when I unravelled it, and I quickly got it out,
Keep going.
There was like random smells, and I hadn't eaten since the morning, that way. So you really enjoyed what you did, yeah? You'd recommend it?
I think I would say that if I was to go back, obviously, if I was to go back, I'd do things differently. I'd change my approach. I'd definitely be a lot more active. I'd definitely put myself into more things. But I would say I did enjoy it. I think it's interesting, and I only hope it grows. Coming from me, and this is very individual. I grew up in Westmeath. Obviously, I've made it very apparent where I'm from.
Yeah.
I.e. Mullingar.
I love that when someone's proud of where they're from.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's, you can't run away from your past. You are who you are at the end of the day.
Do you know what Rocky says? He says if you stay in a place long enough, you become that place.
Well, yeah, I think...
I actually like the Rocky films, that way. There's an honesty to them,
It's like that thing, it's like, that's the sad reality of the situation. It's like everything in this country is centralised to Dublin. Like, for me as a young lad, when I was said, I'm 20 now.
Yeah.
I started acting when I was about 18, and had to come up for Dublin for everything.
Yeah.
And like, I know there's a stereotype of the country people,
yeah.
but there is. I mean, to a degree, it's true. Like a big day up in Dublin, like it's a thing. Like you know, and people are overwhelmed by Dublin. And when I started going up, I mean, I was overwhelmed by Dublin, and it was a bit scary for me, and you know, like
you were doubting yourself.
Well, there's 6 people.
You see, the way I would see it is that you brought your own character. You weren't trying to be anybody else.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I love when people are from Galway and they're true Galway people. Yeah. If they're from where they are and there's a genuinity, I'm saying that wrong, a genuine thing about them, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But you can't allow yourself to be. You can't let yourself be afraid of allowing yourself to be yourself. You know,
I think
that's corrosive. It's toxic, and I think you're never going to be happy. You know, you have to satisfy the internal, and then let the external sort itself out. You know?
Yeah, most definitely.
But as I said, like there was nothing in Westmeath for me, absolutely nothing. And 4 or 5 years there is still nothing in Westmeath. And like my hope for this sort of thing, you know, long term was like, imagine if you had Kinos regionally. You know, kids can go for like
well, that is how the Kino started. Like basically, someone did it in Hamburg, and then they went to Frankfurt, and then they went there.
That would be great.
So if you thought of Westmeath, because there's plenty of people acting up there and trying to look for an avenue.
There was a guy who was in a TV3.
I'd go down to Westmeath, would you?
Yeah, Mullingar's great. Mojo's nightclub, you know, a few pints, why not? Bit of genius.
But you'd get local people and local characters as well.
Yeah, anywhere you go.
That's anywhere you go, you know, that way.
Like, the thing I'd say about the whole Westmeath thing is like, you know, but like when I say there's absolutely nothing in filmmaking, I mean it. Like there is nothing.
No, well, and I get you, but you see, the thing is that I think everybody comes from that, right? I come from a very working class accent.
Yeah.
You know, no matter how much I try change it, I can't get rid of me background. And I remember when I started acting in Dublin.
Why would you want it?
This was the thing. Like when I remember when I started out, that I'm looking at people with different accents and different things, and you're thinking, and I was like, I don't fit in here. Yeah. Do you know that way? So I think you're right that you have to find the people you click with, because these people were doing it like, and I was like, but none of like other than my grandmother that done theatre.
Yeah.
There was nobody in my family that done these type of things.
Yeah.
But that was what made me different as well.
Yeah.
Because I felt sometimes the people were coming from different backgrounds and they were trying to portray characters and they had no concept. They only understood it in a Sunday World War way.
Well, I'll give you a great example. I'm shooting a film that's actually based on secondary school country life.
Yeah.
I don't want to give it a pitch, but it's basically these 3 lads.
Yeah.
They're in cells in secondary school. They're useless women, like they're actually useless, like, but they're all frigid. I don't know, you know, if that's
yeah.
term, but they're all frigid.
Yeah.
The whole premise of the film is, right, lads.
It's like the in-betweeners.
It's the in-betweeners cross the American Pie. It's like the premise is the 3 lads make a bet. First one to get a woman to Debs wins. And the situation plays out. It's like 30-page short film script.
You will have to shave for it, won't you?
Oh, I will. I'm fucking dreading it. I'm fucking scared. I look awful clean shaven. It's fucking shocking, like a baby's face. But but I put up on because I'm from Rossiter Bridge.
Yeah.
It's my village, south of Mullingar, and geez, the response I got from it was shocking. You know, people take that as a means to sort of mock you, and like it's not like, Jesus, this lad trying to make something of himself in the industry. It's like, haha, no.
I've always had the view, if you're not making people jealous, you're not doing it right. Yeah, sometimes people that talk to me and they start being, you know, bad at themselves, and I'd say the reason they don't like you is because they're annoyed that you're doing something they want to do.
Yeah, that's interesting.
You know, that way. So I always say, like, I remember a friend's younger sister was saying, me, great little singer, says, would you put yourself on YouTube or whatever? She said, I don't want to hate. I says, if they don't hate you, you're not doing it right.
Yeah.
Because there's even Joe Rogan says, he says, no matter what I do of a podcast, he says, I will always get 5% of people that will not like this.
Yeah, well,
You know that way.
There's just people who live in perpetual
Negativity.
states of pessimism and negativity and
Yeah.
hate. You know, it's like those people. You know, life will sort them out.
Well, that's it.
Yeah.
So maybe you'd be willing to come back and discuss the film when you are all wrapped up,
Oh, I would be delighted. That would be amazing. Yeah.
and maybe bring the rest of the lads.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. We talk shite for.
And maybe bring up a bit of a Westmead potching place.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to leave it at that. Yeah.
Right. Thanks. Right.
It was great having you.
Thanks,
right?
lads.
Thanks
for your
very
time,
much.
Thanks very much. Yeah. Thank you.
Cheers,
Thanks for your time. Yeah.